What's up, ladies? Welcome to training number 5 of the Fall in Love with Your Curls Mastermind. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited for this video. I think that we're going to really be able to bring a lot of things that you've learned about curly hair together in this video. And honestly, it's just so much easier if I show you at this point. So we're going to be playing around with encouraging and elongating strategies and talking a little bit about protein overload and moisture overload. Have you guys ever, I want to address this topic because as you guys start becoming more conscious of your hair and of this entire world that exists, there's an entire curly hair world, right? And you guys are bound to hear about this moisture overload, protein overload, balance thing. It's a common discussion in the curly hair world, and I really wanted to address it because we don't really address it many other places, and it's super important for you guys to buy into the fact that the reason we don't talk about it is because the name is wrong. The name is wrong, right? So I'm going to explain a little bit about that. So if you guys are curious, make sure you stay tuned. I just want to get into it. I really don't want to waste any time. So what I have going on, let me explain what I have going on. I've been going in the hot tub every day for about 5 days. So I've been washing my hair a lot more, and I'm going to explain to you what's going on with my hair right now that lets me know, right, when it's like getting time to wash. So we're going to go through all that. And so I just essentially, I did a hydrating mask last night where I just used the InnerSense hydrating mask for about 10 minutes. I just like shaved my legs, like did other things in the shower. I'm really not, generally speaking, a huge fan of deep conditioning, right? We talk about that a lot. It's in the glossary of styling strategies. One of the things about doing deep conditioning is that I kind of feel like it's the lazy man's route, right? If you guys want to really work hydration into your hair, it's going to be important that you do some of that manual labor, right? Especially if you're trying to reduce your consumption, be conscious about that entire thing, use less, rely less on product, right? You have to rely more on getting hydration in there kind of manually, right? So last night I did a hydrating mask for about 10 minutes. Today I just left conditioner in my hair for about like a half hour while I was getting ready for this video. So you can see I can very easily run my fingers through my hair, no problem. You guys will get here. Don't feel frustrated. And I know some of you are thinking right now, I could never do that with my hair, right? You'll never be able to just have conditioner in your hair for a half hour, go do it. Like my hair is not even really that wet right now, and I know some of you guys are thinking you're never going to be able to do that. You can. Your hair can become smooth and hydrated and healthy. It's just going to take time. It kind of frustrates me even, like it's so much easier for me to just get in the shower and show you guys. But to be perfectly honest, like my hair is not the best example, which is why we do videos from behind the sink, right, where I can show you on other people's hair. It's just kind of difficult to get people to want to hop in my shower, if you know what I mean. We'll find a way to make it work. So I'm just gonna like hop in and I just want to show you guys. So first of all, I've been going into the hot tub every day. And so I cleansed my hair like 2 days ago. I went in the hot tub again last night. I did a hydrating mask after I went in the hot tub, but I didn't cleanse, right? Because I really wanted to be able to show you guys. I have the microphone set up. So I'm thinking you guys are going to be able to maybe even hear some of what I'm kind of have going on. And it all comes back to the hydration overload, protein overload kind of debate that's going on. So here's the deal is protein can be used in your hair, especially in hair that is damaged from chemical treatments or a lot of like mechanical brushing, maybe dye or anything like that. Even heat can severely damage your hair. And when your hair is really, really that damaged, sometimes it can be helpful to use the right proteins to really reinforce and restructure that hair from the inside out. So here's the thing is that the proteins that are in these products right here, generally speaking, are hydrolyzed proteins. They'll even say on them, like, obviously hydrolyzed rice protein, right? So like it'll say right on there if it's a hydrolyzed protein. I want you guys to really know that those proteins, the hydrolyzed proteins, are actually conditioning agents. So they're not really going to be able to reinforce your hair structurally. Two things have to happen. By the way, we're going to be going into this a lot more in the Consciously Curly course, so don't worry too much about like the science going on here. But essentially what's happening, right, is that these proteins are conditioning agents. These proteins are actually super smooth and soft to the touch, and they help to make your hair feel really smooth and glossy and trap that hydration in there, bring that hydration into the hair shaft, all of those good things, right? They're not really the types of proteins that can structurally reinforce your hair from the inside. In order for that to happen, heat has to be applied. Like heat from a hair dryer or a hood dryer or something. And it has to be a very, very specific form of protein. They have to be processed in the correct ways. Generally speaking, if you need a treatment like that, I recommend you go to a stylist because you can mess it up really bad. Essentially what you're doing is creating hydrogen bonds between the protein and your hair, which are super strong bonds. And so you're getting protein to bond to the hair. And so you're essentially making like a new extremity, a new arm onto your hair shaft, right? So a new support system. And if you're not conditioning that properly, after you create that bond, you're going to experience breakage, and nobody wants that. So if you guys are feeling like you're experiencing a protein overload of some kind, it's probably because you did a really protein-rich treatment with heat and you're experiencing some breakage. Sometimes breakage can also just come from using other products, maybe that don't contain protein, with heat or excessively every day, every week, every month, like too much, too fast. Chemical damage is real, and it can come from products that we're using in the shower, right? It's all in how we use them. So don't worry so much about the hydrolyzed proteins that are in your clean beauty products, because those are actually conditioning agents and filling agents, not a support system type protein. So they won't contribute to a protein overload in the way that, especially if you're not using them aggressively like that, right? The other side of this is what people call the moisture overload, okay? And this is where, so signs of protein overload are going to be that your hair looks really dry, really frizzy. It can't hold on to moisture. Think about like a building that's falling down. It has all of these holes, so the water can go in and out really smoothly through your hair shaft. But as you start creating, like rebuilding that building and creating new protein bonds with a treatment like an Olaplex that you could get with a stylist, you're going to be kind of like closing the hole that's in the building, and it'll hold water better, right? So it kind of makes sense. Your hair is going to look really dry, frizzy, frayed. These are kind of like the adjectives that you'll hear when people have either severe damage or protein issues and they need protein help from a stylist. Okay. Not all the time. This is like an extreme case of very bad damage, right? The other side of this happens generally when we are overusing products, regular products, and like not like deep treatment products or deep protein products, but like just regular hairstyling products, or maybe we're trying to save a buck on some products and we get what's called moisture overload. Guys, this is just paying attention to your wash cycle and to what we've been talking about this entire video series. If you guys are part of the mastermind, this entire video series, we've been talking about getting hydration into your hair shaft, right? The first goal of any wet refresh of any shower is to get hydration into your hair shaft, right? The second goal is to get perfectly smooth curl clumps. So that's what you're looking for. And where people are talking about like moisture overload, actually what happens is buildup, long-term buildup, maybe just short-term buildup from your wash cycle, right? Maybe you are using products that have ingredients that are designed to stay in the hair forever. Maybe you're using products that are Curly Girl method friendly, right? So they don't have ingredients that are designed to stay in there forever, but they have ingredients that have like heavy oils that sit on the hair shaft, or who are skimping on the quality of their ingredients so that their ingredients aren't absorbing into the hair shaft the way they should be if they were processed correctly, right? Without filling agents and whatever crazy stuff goes on. We're actually going to be doing a course on this coming up about conscious consumption and how really it's crazy stuff that goes on behind the scenes. But so when we start skimping on ingredients, right, when we start skimping on products that are skimping on ingredients, we're going to start getting like maybe heavy oils building up in our hair, something like that, right? This is what people associate with moisture overload. And it is not an overload of moisture. It's the opposite. It's an overload of other stuff that is taking the place of where the hydration is supposed to go in your hair shaft. So you have to move through this sequence, right? We gave you guys a sequence of things that you can do to get your hair shaft to accept hydration and go towards the goal of perfectly smooth curl clumps, right? So you can start with a co-wash. You can do a gentle cleanser. You could add a ascorbic acid, a crushed up vitamin C powder to a co-wash or to a gentle cleanser. You could use a chelating shampoo or a sulfate shampoo that doesn't, have ingredients like polyquats and things like that. These are kind of like the progressive steps that you can take to get rid of the moisture overload, which is literally just other stuff taking place of where the moisture is supposed to go, right? So that's kind of what I have going on right here. And I can feel it in my hair. Essentially what I feel, like what you're gonna feel when you have moisture overload, right? Which is essentially just buildup, whether it be short-term buildup, long-term buildup, whatever it is. What's happening is your hair isn't accepting hydration. And it could be because you have lower porosity. It could be because you have short-term buildup from your products because it's your normal wash day cycle. It could be that you have long-term buildup from hair products that you've been using. Maybe you went on vacation, right? And you had to like use different products. Maybe you have hot or hard water and you're not used to soft water, or vice versa, right? So your hair is acting totally different, behaving totally different. Like these are all contributing factors that are like barriers to our goal, get water inside the hair shaft, right? So I hope that makes sense. There's a lot of contributing factors, and it's not just that your hair is low porosity. It's not just that you have short-term buildup, or it's not just your normal wash day cycle. It's like there's a lot of contributing factors, right? So it's not, nothing is black and white. But so what I'm feeling, what you're going to feel when you get buildup, besides the obvious, you're going to start learning what your hair looks like when it accepts hydration. And then you're going to start noticing when your hair isn't accepting that kind of hydration. Like you're just going to get used to it over time because you're going to see it all the time. So be patient with yourself. Like don't expect that you're supposed to know what that looks like for you right now. And also understand that it's going to change over time, because as your hair becomes more accustomed to accepting hydration, it's going to do it much easier. It's going to accept more much easier. So be open to the fact that like all of this is going to change over time, and you are going to get used to what your hair looks like when you're headed in the right direction and getting the curl clumps that you need in order to get the results that you want. Okay, you guys are going to get used to it, I promise. So what I'm feeling when I have this kind of buildup, I have it especially right here because I had my hair up and I like this back part was kind of in the water, right? So like this part plus like my top layer from the steam and stuff. And what I feel is when my hair is wet, even when it's well conditioned like it is right now, up by my roots, when my hair is wet, and I'm going to try and show you guys, but I feel is like drag. Okay, and again, you are going to start to understand what your curls feel like when there's no buildup, when there's nothing like creating, like holding your hand back, when your fingers run smoothly through your curls with no resistance. You're going to start to learn what that feels like for you, and you're going to start to notice when it feels like you're rubbing your fingers down some rubber bands or like more like straw. It's going to feel different. You're going to feel drag. It's going to feel different in your hands, right? And so when you start to feel these types of things, it's a great indication that it's a wash day or a co-wash day, or that you need to do something to try and shake the product out. I just did a condition, right? I've had conditioner in my hair for about 40 minutes now. I'm just going to rinse it out and condition again in a co-washing kind of way and just see how that goes. I'm not exactly sure. Oops. I'm going to do this yet. I really wanted to make sure I did this in the shower so that you guys can see exactly what I would do if I was you in the shower, and not what I would do if I only had one hand when I was in the sink, or if I was doing somebody else's hair in the sink. Like, it's different when it's just you in the shower. So that's why I wanted to do that. And you can see my hair is easily accepting moisture today. So this would be you either after your cleanse on a wash day, maybe after a co-wash, after a double condition, or if you were just about to put conditioner in your hair for the first time, right, in the shower. This would be kind of the step you're starting at. I'm using one single pump of conditioner, and you can see I just put like a couple of drips of water from my hair onto it, and it just thins right out, right? So I'm just going to pat this up with the roots, especially make sure that I get this part that I want to, that I'm feeling the buildup on, right? And I always make sure I give extra love to this top layer right here underneath. I always, always, always make sure that conditioner there. Okay, so one thing that I like to do is to go side to side. I just do some gentle shaking and massaging. But I really like to detangle my hair from all angles. It helps me make sure that I'm getting hydration in at the roots as well, which I think is super important, especially if you're experiencing halo. This step is really important if you're getting hydration in at the roots. See, I can feel drag. I wonder if you can hear it. I don't know if you guys can hear it. So I'm just going to keep working this in. I'm going to do a little glass of water. I just turn the water on a little bit. I also turn my head like that and blast the top layer because that's usually my coarsest piece of hair these days, and I want to make sure it gets all the water. Okay, so now if I was lower porosity or maybe higher porosity, but I'm further from my wash day, this is where maybe I would interject some scrunching, right? If your hair's really not accepting moisture, this is where I would do more pulsing rather than one hard scrunch. I tend to do one hard scrunch towards the end when you really don't want to mess with the curl too much. But while you have water and conditioner, like this is where your encouraging strategies come in. I usually don't do encouraging strategies. I'm usually almost always doing elongating strategies, kind of like this, right? You can play around with both. You can play around with doing some scrunching motions with the conditioner and maybe some filler, and then elongating maybe more motions with the sealer, or vice versa. Right, so I'm using this bear claw motion. I'm just gently holding my fingers just barely together. And then I'm coming in and doing some scrunching. There we go, a little bit more water. More water, not more conditioner. Not a lot of water. I have like just a couple drops coming out at a time here. You can do a little blast, but I kind of like being able to have direction with it. Are you guys seeing why the squeegee is your best friend? Because like, if you're doing this with product in your hair, conditioner water is getting all over your shower. Like right now, it's getting all over, not my shower, just my bathroom and my door. I have the door open for you guys. So this is where you guys can really experiment with elongating versus encouraging styling strategies. Don't be afraid. For those of you who are encouraging your curls, see this milky white water coming out? That's money. Literally. If you guys are doing encouraging styling strategies, don't be afraid to mess up a curl clump that you already made. Like, keep going back in there because you're only going to encourage them more. The only time you have to be like hands off with the touching is once you go to the sealer. Okay, and that's where you're just going to do prayer hands, right? And I'm going to show you guys where you're going to do prayer hands. And then, actually, I'm just going to show you guys. So I'm going to do, okay. I just wanted to get my hair rehydrated, right? I'm going to use I Create Volume. I get fill and seal from this. I'm going to emulsify it. And then apply it in your frizziest places first. So I always come down and bear claw right through that top layer where I need the most fill. And I'm going to bear claw that. I don't really do any flat out raking anymore. You might be doing some scrunching if you're still having trouble getting the water in, if that's really your main like goal. My hair very easily accepted hydration, so I don't have to do that much scrunching. I'm doing a lot more smoothing, right? And that can change day by day. That can change hour by hour. That's why we teach you guys all of the tools and not just one set routine, because if your hair is feeling smoother and you don't have to get hydration in there, right? If that seemed to be easy for you today, then you can focus more on sealing that in, right? So the smoothing motion is just locking that hydration in. So then I'm going to go to my I Create Hold. This is my gel. I recommend every curly girl ends their routine with a gel. That's my recommendation. I'm going to emulsify that in my hands. And again, I'm going to hit the pieces that are frizziest the most first. Squeeze hard. Okay. Now, if you just flattened out your curl pattern and you're freaking out right now, okay, don't. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna take a towel or a t-shirt. I have this like micro suede, which I love, but a pillowcase or a cotton t-shirt or anything like that is fine. And you're just gonna come in clump by clump. Just one hard scrunch as close to your scalp as you can and let that go. You're going to just re-encourage all the curls that you just created. You didn't get rid of what you just did. You just smoothed it in, and now you're just bringing that curl back with one hard scrunch. Some people like to rotate the towel to keep getting a drier spot. I like using that same producty spot again. That's what I'm into. You could also, if you were doing a little bit more elongating, but you wanted to keep going with this method, you could come down like this. This is doing roping, right? See what I'm doing? I'm just one hard squeeze all the way down. So you guys can play with that too. Or you could do what I'm going to do, which is a towel twist. So I have a rectangle towel, and I just fold one corner of it so that it's flat. It's a triangle. And I put that flat piece. I do this so that I can get, like now it's a longest, the diagonal, it helps cover my entire, like all of my hair. So if I just twist this, like you would if you were using an ordinary towel and you were an ordinary person. This is the most elongating, I would say, of all of the drying methods. You could also do a t-shirt plop, right? A more traditional plop is another way to, that would be a more encouraging method. But play around with the different drying strategies. We're going to be talking a lot more about drying this week. And also, yes, you should be doing this in the shower. So make sure you guys are doing basically all of your styling. I leave a plop. Again, we're going to be talking in the next video of the series. We're going to be talking about drying methods. So don't worry too much about that. But in terms of what you're looking for, I hope that this really helped you guys like put together like what you're looking for. Your first goal is to get hydration in. Your second goal is to get perfectly smooth curl clumps, right? So we're just using all of the tools at our disposal to achieve those two things. So anything else you're hearing in the curly hair world, anything else you're learning from other social media influencers on Instagram, whatever it is, like remember that like there's two goals. And so just see how like whatever else you're learning, whatever else is going on, like can fit in and help you achieve one of those two goals. Because there's 1,000 different ways to do it, but the goals never change. The method and how you go from dry hair when you get in the shower to perfectly smooth curl clumps at the end before you plop or micro plop or anything like that is where any strategy can come in. There's infinite room for creativity in what you can do to go from A to B. What we have in the glossary styling strategies is literally only the beginning. There's an entire curly hair world, and we're going to help you guys like understand like all of the things. But just keep in mind, like no matter what it is, the two goals remain unchanged. I know I've been beating these two goals like into you guys, but I'm hoping this video really helped show where elongating and encouraging strategies can be helpful regardless of what you think your hair type is, because really your hair type should be changing over time and your curl pattern should be changing over time as well. So I hope that this was super helpful. If it was, drop your aha moments in the comments below, like anything that really like helped you, kind of helped everything click together. We're moving into drying strategies, and for those of you guys in the mastermind, we're going to be doing a live Zoom call this week. So I'm super excited about that. So keep your eyes on the group because I'm going to be letting you guys know when that's going to be. And I will talk to you guys later. Okay, so I only see one question. Should you be doing this in the shower? And I say yes. I don't have my phone, so I'm unable to check anything else. I'm only seeing a couple comments, but I think I just don't have great reception. So the thing about sealing after you get out of the shower is that like your hair should be a dripping mess. So like, why would you want to get all of that product around your bathroom? Like just do it in the shower. And then I come in, so like I come in with my removable shower head and like hose everything down. And then I come in with my squeegee and I squeeze everything off because otherwise, like this place would be a hot mess. Like I wouldn't even be able to go one day without doing that, just with the amount of product that ends up around here. You know? So yeah, if you're doing it right, you don't want to be, yeah, we're going to talk a lot more about casting because the big thing about casting is how you dry. I absolutely get a cast. I mean, it's not like a Tresemme LA Looks crunchy cast. It's not. But you can absolutely get a cast and it's just going to appear almost like your hair is wet until you scrunch it out. It'll just look like sleekier and shinier, and then you can scrunch out or you can leave it in and let it fall out slowly during the day. I used to do that all the time. If you guys look, I'm going to give you guys some homework. Obviously, one of them is going to be an optional video, but one of them is going to be a video, like one of my first couple of videos that I did in this group, and you'll notice that my hair is pretty heavily casted. I used to leave my cast in a lot more. Now I just kind of like fluff my hair all over the place. Yeah, you should be a dripping mess. Did you see? Like I was adding, and like I was adding water, but literally when I was turning this shower on to add more water, like it's just dripping a tiny little bit from the back. This is even like more than I was doing. It was just a light little drip. It was like that. I just add a little bit, like, so like it's a dripping mess. It's not like you're trying to get the water in, not everything else out. Oh, awesome. If you're able to watch these videos and do the process, like, I think it will really, really, really help you guys. I know it's a little weird, but listen, I'm in the shower with you. So like, just get to it, give it a shot. I hope this was helpful. I look forward to answering your questions in the comments below and seeing everybody's curls inside of Collectively Curly. By the way, seeing your journeys inside of the collective has been absolutely amazing. Amazing. Like to see your journeys. I know like some of us are like, frustrated, but listen, we're trying new things and like it's par for the course. Maybe just keep it up, keep sticking with it. It's day number 19 right now. Like we're so close. So I'm really excited and I'll talk to you guys later. Okay.